Eggo waffles were invented in San Jose. And the last that I knew, they were still being made there. I imagine they may be made elsewhere, I'm not sure, but they were made in San Jose, and I know this because a guy that I used to work with came over from the Eggo plant because they were Teamsters, and that worked actually on the manufacturing floor. Teamsters are not just truck drivers. Teamsters have definitely broadened their outreach to strengthen the union. There's a whole arm of Teamsters in the cannabis industry trying to get themselves footed in the industry for union representation for those who vote for it in the cannabis industry. In fact, they have a pin that says Teamsters in the horse's head and the cannabis leaf, which I think I need to find me one of these. Anyway, the guy was saying that I worked with Robin that they would work in, you never turn the machines off, I guess, except to clean them or maintain them. So they had 3 8-hour shifts. Well, what he said was that if somebody called in sick and they would split the 8 hours, they would make the one guy there stay for 4 hours, and then they would call you, and you had to come in for the other 4 hours before your 8-hour shift. And I guess the union went along with this, but as it turns out, if you're on call like that, you need to be paid for it. At least you were supposed to in California, and I couldn't believe that they got away with that. I understand you gotta produce. You can't just shut the shit off, but God, you gotta hire better than that. So the guy got tired of that nonsense and came over to the Mercury. So I thought that was a curious thing. Now, when I went to work at the Mercury in 1987, and for years afterwards, they told us all you had to be on call. Well, I didn't realize this until I started hanging around the plaintiff. But if you're legally on call, and there's a term for it, I can't think of it, but there's a term where you're waiting for work on their orders. I can't think of the term, but somebody somehow figured out that, if we say these guys are on call, we need to pay them for it legally under California labor law. So later in time, we started telling new people you had to be available to work, because if we told them you were on call, they were going to have to get paid for it, irrespective of the union contract. Now, I figured this out when the plaintiff was on call, and she actually got a quarter of her pay to be on call. Well, she'd take call all weekend, and she may never get called. Now, you had to be within an hour of the hospital, so, we didn't get we didn't drive to Reno or nothing, and there were times where it was, 1 o'clock in the morning and the phone would ring and she'd have to go into work. And that stopped when they figured out that it was cheaper to hire another person than to pay so much money in call. And there were people like the plaintiff who took all the call they can get. Well, she had to pay for her opioid addiction that I didn't know about, but my God, she made bank on that call. So anyway, Eggos were invented in San Jose, and the last that I knew, still made there by Teamsters. So that's your Eggo Waffle Teamster on-call story for today. Thank you for watching Storytime with Joe, and enjoy your day.